What up, everybody? It's your boy, the DOJ.
And your son, the Machiavells.
Welcome to the Red Monster Inc. podcast.
Yeah.
We got some interesting things to talk about today.
Like you butthurt motherfuckers.
Yeah, I guess we'll get right into that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we're just jumping right in. Say, man.
Yeah. See?
Meh.
Yeah.
Something that we've ran into since we started doing the podcast is sometimes jokes come about that I double take on when editing that are a little sensitive as far as subject matter.
Well, that and maybe most people would say that it went too far, you know? It hit a line that would offend most. And granted, thank God that we do edit, because there is some shit that we would both admit is just didn't need to be fucking there.
It just didn't.
Just didn't work.
Yeah. That is one thing. If you haven't noticed already, that most of these podcasts are pre-recorded.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't want to listen if this shit was live.
No. We've been asked about live shows before, and I'm like, nah.
We need to get better at controlling some of our shits.
I'm just trying to stop saying and like and all those things that you do subconsciously that you can't fucking make yourself stop doing.
Yeah.
So that's my issue.
I need more fucking fish oil or something, because I have such a hard goddamn time remembering words. Like the most
words are hard.
Yeah, they are fucking hard, man. I swear I've got like early onset dementia or some shit.
We're gonna have to put the Machiavells in a home one day. It's gonna be really sad.
No, if it goes that far,
Mac's
fucking
like, nope,
kill me.
you are taking me out behind the dumpster
Yeah,
and putting a cap in me.
Yep.
Well, me too, brother. I will be right next to you.
Fuck you. But yeah, so people getting upset about certain phrases and words and jokes.
Yeah.
Like,
The biggest one that's come up, and I'm just gonna say it, the biggest one that's come up that I've had to cut a lot is rape jokes.
Yeah.
And before we started recording this, we watched a rant from George Carlin about it, and I'm probably going to put it in the link in the description.
Definitely.
Because a very fantastic way of looking at it, you know what I'm saying?
You should just drop the audio clip of it on there, like, hey, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he explains it very well, that it's all based on context and what you exaggerate and what you emphasize versus just, oh, somebody's getting fucked against their will.
Yeah.
Brr.
Well, should we play that right here?
Yeah, right here.
All right. Well, magic powers will make that happen.
Who do?
Oh, some people don't like you to talk like that. Oh, some people would like to shut you up for saying those things. You know that. Lots of people, lots of groups in this country want to tell you how to talk, tell you what you can't talk about. Well, sometimes they'll say, well, you can talk about something, but you can't joke about it. Say you can't joke about something because it's not funny. Comedians run into that shit all the time. Like rape. They'll say, you can't joke about rape. Rape's not funny. I say, fuck you. I think it's hilarious. How do you like that? I can prove to you that rape is funny. Picture Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. See? Hey, why do you think they call him Porky, huh? I know what you're going to say. Elmer was asking for it. Elmer was coming on to Porky. Porky couldn't help himself. He got a hard on. He got horny. He lost control. He went out of his mind. A lot of men talk like that. A lot of men think that way. They think it's the woman's fault. They like to blame the rape on the woman. Say, hey, she had it coming. She was wearing a short skirt. These guys think women ought to go to prison for being cock teasers. Don't seem fair to me. Don't seem right. But you can joke about it. I believe you can joke about anything. It all depends on how you construct the joke. What the exaggeration is.
He's right, man. Like, there's no need to be so fucking sensitive about jokes.
Yeah.
It's meant to be lighthearted. It's meant to kind of take the sting out of those things that are god-awful.
Yeah, and comics have been doing that for so long, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's nothing new.
And I don't know, maybe...
Because, you know, George Carlin was...
one of many.
Well, I mean, he was one of those comics that people were like, rebel, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Well, you know, because he was also a huge atheist.
Right.
Which was a huge controversy, too.
You know,
Because
he was,
the whole culture the whole American culture was always based on God and Jesus.
Right.
And
Especially back then.
Yeah,
Especially when
yeah.
he was getting... But, I mean, I think that's why he was so hot. You know?
Mhm.
Like, because people were like, hey, here's the guy that's... don't give a fuck. He'll talk about it. You know?
And I really feel like that too, and he's not afraid to say
Right,
that.
right. You know, love George Carlin
Yeah.
so very much. May he rest in peace. But yeah, and we also watched a video from the comic Sam Kinison.
Yes, talking
one's,
about homosexual necrophilia.
Yeah, that one's a little more hardcore than the George
we'll definitely
Carlin
put a
one.
link to that one so
Yeah,
people can check it out.
that's,
It's pretty fucking funny.
view that one at your discretion. But,
He is one of those comics though that kind of does the whole yelling thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah, he's
he's
very
not
loud.
for everybody, but that one specific joke is pretty fucking hilarious. And again, it's all in context, and don't take everything so fucking serious.
Yeah.
Because especially jokes, some may have basis in reality, but they're all exaggerations of shit.
Because that's the thing, I don't even like to consider our podcast comedy, really. Like, I mean, we try to be funny, but, you know, being a real comedian is fucking hard.
Oh,
that is
definitely.
hard work, you know. So I don't ever claim that as like, oh yeah, I'm a comedian. No,
we tell jokes and stuff.
yeah, no, I mean,
No, we just fuck around, and we're just kind of funny at doing what we do.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
yeah,
We're retarded.
that's another one.
That's another one.
Awesome segue by the Machiavells.
Haha. Leave it to him to
Segue.
say something fucked up.
Yeah, but that was that was something that came up, and you know, that's something that's very sensitive to a lot of people, especially
Yeah.
people that have children that are, you know,
That have some type of
mental disabilities.
Right, and you know, just for the record, I've got a son who's got autism, and it doesn't fucking offend me when somebody says retarded. Now, if you call him retarded, we're gonna have problems.
Right.
But if you're just making it a general conversation about somebody acting stupid, and that's what it is to me. When you say something's retarded, to me it's the same thing as saying it's stupid, or you're being an idiot, or something like that. And if you take that away from it, you can't say the other words either.
Well,
in my
you know, it's
opinion.
kind of like when Eminem got in all that shit about the word faggot, you know.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I'm not saying faggot is like, you know, a diss on homosexuals, you know.
Right.
But, you know, the fact that he even had to explain himself at all, it's like, dude, he was a battle rapper. Of course he's going to call you a faggot, you know,
course.
like, I don't know. And like we said, context is key, as the man Eric Bischoff would say. But, yeah, I've had to cut out a lot of stuff since we've started these podcasts of shit that I'm just like, nope, I just don't know how well, even with the few subscribers that we have, that I'm just like, I don't know if I want to teeter that line.
Right. Because some
I'm not
things-
touching that one with a 10-foot pole, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get it too, because some stuff, you know, is just for certain people
Right.
to be able to handle.
And I always worry about this podcast being a little too, like, oh man, people that don't know us won't get it. But you know, some stuff I think generally crosses over.
Oh yeah, and then hopefully people will listen long enough, and we'll start to
I
get
was about
our
to
sense of
say,
humor.
I was about to say, you'll start learning enough about us to be like, that was
Oh,
good.
that's totally their style.
Yeah,
that's what they
so,
do.
That's so them. But yeah, like we try to watch it, you know, as much as we can, but sometimes things slip through that I'm like, well,
Yeah, and don't think that anything we do we say to try and make somebody cry.
I was about to say,
or
I
hurt
guarantee- I was about to
feelings.
say-
It's all in fun and joking around.
yeah, I guarantee we have no ill will towards anybody.
Yeah, you do you. You be who you want to be and who you feel you should be. As long as
Absolutely.
you're not fucking hurting anybody else or fucking with other people's lives, do what you do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely.
And don't get upset if I do something you don't like just because you disagree with it.
Right.
I'm not gonna get upset if you do something I don't like. That's fucking on you. You got to deal with the consequences, not me.
Yeah, and I've always, you know, I love people listening to the podcast, but I never want to shove it down anybody's throat. So, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. You know,
Yeah.
so. But
But listen anyway.
Yeah. And subscribe, because we need subscribers.
Yeah.
We're on the road to 100.
We need it. So we can get our own little tag on the YouTubes.
That's right. So we can put it on the business cards.
Be like, woo dow.
And we can be fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy gentlemen.
Fancy schmancy.
Speaking of fancy gentlemen, let's cut over to our homeboy Zach King with the entertainment update.
I'm Zach King, and this is your entertainment update brought to you by TalentJoe.com. Today's top story: an icon passes away. In movie news, John Singleton, most known as the groundbreaking director of Boys in the Hood, is dead at the age of 51 after suffering a massive stroke. DVDs released this week include Arctic with Mads Mikkelsen, Serenity with Matthew McConaughey, and Miss Bala with Gina Rodriguez. In music news, Billie Eilish has done it, as her When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go album is back at the top of the Billboard 200. And speaking of Billboard, don't forget the Billboard Music Awards airs tomorrow night, May the 1st. And staying in music, depending on the source, the Woodstock 50 concert may or may not be canceled. And don't forget, guys, have your vacation August 12th with industry experts on the launch cruise. Join Lex Staley from the Lex and Terry Morning Radio Network, Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup, and more. We set sail August 12th, and cabin space is limited, so go to launch.world now. Once again, launch.world.
Well, we're going to get into something that I actually wanted to get into a couple of different times, but it just never happened. But I feel like now is the time to talk about the origins of Funyun Bob.
Oh,
Bum, bum,
shit!
bum. Play epic music here.
Dun dun dun.
But,
which actually, is perfect for what we just talked about.
yeah.
Because he was kind of created for that reason, too.
He was. He was originally
he was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing.
He really,
at the very beginning.
Really was. I think we should play the game show skit right here. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to play this real quick so you get an idea of the very first thing that we ever did with Funyun Bob. And this is, of course, El Mac is the voice because duh. But here, check this out.
And hello, everybody. I'm Phil McGroin, and welcome to You Don't Know Shit, where you can win big prizes for not being a total stupid ass. Let's meet our contestants. First up, from the Blue Hills of Tennessee, he's a part-time farmer and a full-time alcoholic. Welcome, Funyun Bob.
Yeah, what up, everybody? Yeah, it's me, Funny Bob. Woo!
Riveting. Contestant number 2 is from Northville, Minnesota, and she is a Piggly Wiggly sales clerk. Please welcome Miss Gertie.
Don't you know it's Miss Gertie up in this bitch?
All right. And contestant number 3 is a producer / CEO of Stardog ENT. Please welcome Los.
Crank it.
All right, contestants. The game is very simple. I will ask you a series of questions. Keep your hands on your bells, because apparently we're too cheap to afford buzzers. All right, question 1. What color is a stop sign? Funyun Bob.
Dude, I seen one of them sons bitches the other day. Oh, I got this. It is, green! Oh, yeah! Woo!
Oh, I am sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer was red. Oh. All right. Question number 2. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? Miss Gertie.
Geez, that's a hard one. I think I'm gonna go with bananas.
A banana?
Ooh.
Man, what the fuck?
No, I am sorry. The
fucking
correct
Northville,
answer was
Minnesota anyway?
16. Oh. All right. Question number 3. What does E in the equation E equals MC squared stand for? Los.
I didn't even want to fucking answer this question, man. I don't fucking know. How come I didn't get the stop sign question?
Ooh, he got it incorrect, and you know what that means.
You don't know shit! Man, what the fuck is that all about? This is some bullshit, man.
All right. Question number 4. Which fast food chain is known for having the Happy Meal? Miss Gertie.
Taco Bell. I
Taco
like
Bell?
that red
Man, what the fuck?
guacamole.
Oh, I
swear,
am
man, one
sorry.
more
The
motherfucking
correct
time,
answer was
this is some bullshit.
McDonald's.
Oh, shit.
All right, next question. Which animal is best known for being man's best friend? Funyun Bob.
Pussy!
Pussy!
Woo!
Man, pussy!
Yeah!
Are you motherfucking kidding me,
Oh, I
man?
am
You pushing
sorry,
my motherfucking
Funyun
butt.
Bob,
Get
but the
fuck
correct
out of my
answer
face,
were
Funyun. Back the
dogs.
fuck up, man.
We also
Fall
would
the
have
fuck
accepted
back.
canines.
You smell, motherfucker. Some bullshit.
All right, next question. Who was the last person to win a Nobel Prize? Los.
Man, what the fuck? I did not hit this fucking bell, man. I don't fucking know. Tupac?
Oh, I am sorry, Los. You got that answer incorrect, and you know what that means.
You don't know shit! I don't fucking know shit? You don't motherfucking know shit, man. I've had enough of this shit. You wanna fuck with me? Huh? Huh? Fuck you!
Ah, shit! Well, that about does it for this week. I'm Phil McGroin, and join us next time on
So there was the game show skit. Los, man.
I know, man.
I think I shudder to think how many people died.
Not Funyun though.
No, Funyun, Phil McGroin, and Miss Gertie all made it out.
Yep.
So I can't say the same for the studio audience
Yeah, I'm sure they're massacred.
or any of the camera people.
Yeah, they're dead. I saw one of their eyeballs rolling.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But we know Phil McGroin is alive because he was a guest presenter at the, I forget the name of the first, it's a Funyun Bob Christmas, I think was what it was called.
Okay, yeah.
Funyun Bob hosted a Christmas special at a theater that him and Gopher had rented, and musical guest Lil Wayne, because I don't know, but for some reason Gopher and Lil Wayne were like really tight there for a
Yeah.
while, like they were hanging out all the time.
They're pouring champagnes on phones and everything.
Yeah, and going what? And they like to watch wrestling together. It was weird, but hey, you know, it's a big name to get for to close out your show. But he got hit in the head with a bottle and said "fuck you" and don't ever ask me to do this shit ever again, Funyun, and get the fuck out. So me and your boy the Machiavelli stepped in and closed the show out
Yeah.
because we're good homies like that.
We take care of our folks.
That's right. But to start at the beginning, it started with that game show skit, and then we had always talked about it would be cool if we did a cartoon. And there was even talks of a cartoon back in the day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we talked on a previous podcast about how everything's evolved so much. You know, there was ideas for certain things that just never
We never could get to
came into
light.
fruition.
Yeah.
But Funyun Bob became something that seemed kind of doable, especially with Facebook and everything. I was like, I
mean, you and your ability with the comic drawing, like, fucking hell, man.
Well, the discovery of being able to do hand drawing and mix it with the Photoshop is really what changed the game for
Yeah.
me.
Well, your ability to even figure that the fuck out, not having anybody teach you how to do that. That's what's fucking awesome.
I had some brief tutorial on Photoshop in Mr. Reiner's class.
There at Miss Stevens' class, too.
Yeah. And that really kind of opened the door for me to start exploring with it.
Yeah.
And I had a bootleg copy and was working with that. I still use an outdated copy just because the new Photoshop you actually have to pay
A monthly
fee
for
it. Yeah,
God damn.
So I'm like,
money hungry bitches.
Yeah, I'll work with an outdated version because it works for what I need it for, and I don't have to pay anybody.
Exactly. And it looks just as fucking good, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, I do what I do's.
But yeah, that really is what
But it
helped
started,
keep Funyun alive.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of evolved with us over the years. Because, God, we started doing Funyun, it's been at least 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
probably the longest running thing I've ever really done like that. But it started out as just kind of these little one-shot panel cartoons that I would put on Facebook, and you know, the idea of putting Mac's voice with it was just kind of a dream, you know. But we
remember riding around looking for little things to get inspiration from, finding that fucking camper out there in Littleville.
Yeah.
That was all dudded up and
yeah,
old Dale Earnhardt paint.
If you read any of the comics where you see you see Funyun's camper, that is a real camper.
Yeah, that exists.
That exists somewhere in was it Littleville or was it Russellville? I want to say it was Russellville. I'm pretty sure it was Russellville because I want to say it was close to the bank that you go to there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I saw it, and it actually had the Dale Earnhardt tag on it with Dale Earnhardt colors.
Fucking number 3.
I saw it. I was like, oh my god, get close enough for me to get a picture of that, and I did. So that picture got used so many times over the course of Funyun's history until the Phantom Clown Society set it on fire, and now it is
fucking torched it.
It is no more. Which we will get into that. That's on down the timeline.
Yeah. Hold your horses.
Skipping around.
Yeah. So jump ahead.
Sorry.
Fuck.
I just explaining the camper origins real quick, but it just started out with just Funyun. There were no side characters.
Yeah. Well, Miss Gertie.
Gertie kind of eventually
became back around.
She came a
regular or whatever.
I called them Funyun and Friends at one point in time because he had a little crew of people. But the next one to come about was Gopher.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell the story of Gopher to anybody that knows me. They probably know of Catherine. Shout out to Catherine. I don't know if I've ever formally shouted out Catherine on a podcast. I know she listens from time to time.
We love you, Catherine.
I do love you, Catherine. She's having a baby. And
how far along is she?
She's... I'm sorry, Catherine. I cannot remember how far along you are, but it was enough to be like,
she's pregnant.
Yeah. She's talking about crocheting little Jedi robes for the baby. But Catherine saw this Gopher out by where Dairy Queen is over, like when you first come over O'Neill Bridge.
Yeah.
Used to be like Backyard Burger or whatever the hell it was.
It's been like 12 different places.
Yeah. Not a very great spot as far as location, but they took forever for that Dairy Queen to finally open. Like they were working on it forever.
Yeah.
And she was telling me about seeing this Gopher and how it just had the most confused look on its face. And I was like, it's wondering why the fuck Dairy Queen's not open yet. And that kind of became the joke of, you know, this Gopher just wanted some damn ice cream.
Yeah.
You know? And that's when I made the picture of a cartoon Gopher holding an ice cream cone on the Dairy Queen sign saying, "Aw, fuck yeah." And that's where "Aw, fuck yeah" came from too, because he had finally gotten his ice cream.
Yeah.
And if you ever read any of this stuff where ice cream is mentioned, that's why. It's because it's one of his favorites, you know.
He needed that blizzard.
Yeah. But Gopher came about, and then it took off from there. They became...
Who is voiced by the DOJ, by the way?
I am. I wasn't going to say that, but...
I did.
You put it out there?
Yeah. I know he doesn't like to toot his own horn.
I don't.
So I'll toot it for him.
Well, thank you, sir.
Toot, motherfucker.
Yes, I am the voice of Gopher. If you don't already know that, I know it's in the credits of something, I'm sure. But,
Yeah.
But I don't really put it out there for reals. But I love being Gopher. I love that character. I always credit Catherine as like co-creator of Gopher.
Yeah.
If we ever, if something ever popped off, like she would be the. You getting that co-credit, Catherine. Yeah. But,
so if you get a check for $12 in 10 years,
you'd be like, oh man, that Gopher
paid off.
But Gopher, and we started. As time progressed, Funyun started developing this personality, and then with Gopher, it perpetuated that personality. Gopher had a personality. They were very different from one another, but they were the odd couple fit.
Yeah, they worked very well.
and it just kind of it started kind of molding from the little one-shot panel jokes to actual web comics. And I want to say where that started was I'd done the All-American Road Trip.
Yes.
That's a big thing with Funyun Bob, is America.
America.
Because America, that's why.
America, you guys, you motherfuckers.
And the idea was they were going to kind of do this all around the United States road trip with the character Cousin Randall, which Cousin Randall is kind of a play on the biker gang OG kind of, kind of redneck, kind of, questionable, sleazy kind of guy.
Which was, around the time Sons of Anarchy was
yeah,
real big with us.
I'm actually wearing a Sons of Anarchy t-shirt right now because I'm a mark. But, he was totally based off of that style of, Sons of Anarchy and motorcycles and guns and bitches and cocaine, yeah. And so Funyun and Gopher, they went to Talladega first.
Yeah.
And that is where they got arrested for getting into a bar fight, I want to say. And Randall and Funyun got caught. Their mugshots were up.
That's right.
But Gopher got away.
That sneaky bastard.
And this was around the time... this was after the Captain America saga.
Yeah.
Because... if you're familiar with comics, Steve Rogers actually was revealed to be a Hydra agent.
That's
like
right.
all along, which was pretty controversial in itself. But Captain America is Funyun's hero, so he was devastated,
just fucking torn to bits.
Absolutely devastated. So, in an angry rebellion against that, he decided that he was going to pick up the mantle of Captain America, pick up the shield and the suit, and he was going to pick up where Cap left off, and he was going to do everything that Cap had done, but better. So it's like I don't remember how many times Cap knocked out Adolf Hitler, but Funyun was going to do it 2 more times. It didn't matter. Fucking Steve Rogers, turn your back on America.
You sorry son bitch.
So Funyun took up the mantle, and that is when. Of course, you had to have your Bucky Barnes of the crew. So
Right.
Gopher stepped up to be the sidekick.
Don that persona.
Shit happened, and Gopher reemerged as the Winter Gopher. And that is a big deal, because Winter Gopher, that would not be the last we saw of Winter Gopher.
Nope.
That became a whole ordeal.
that was good shit, too. Oh man!
But with Gopher's newly acquired Winter Gopher skills, he was able to get away from the police. So he actually was not part of the back half of the All-American Road Trip. While that was going on, him and Spade were having a disagreement,
little one,
to say the least. They decided they were going to settle their shit. It went down. Deadpool shot a fucking rocket at both of them. They somehow lived because they're cagey.
Yeah.
And got their revenge on Deadpool. Beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Gopher threw a gopher grenade at him, which those are fucking devastating.
Yeah.
And
they're made up of a lot of his shit.
While it didn't kill Deadpool, it definitely took a long time to heal from that. So, but All-American Road Trip ended with Funyun and Randall. They went to the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, Funyun got laid so much.
I know Randall did. I know there was all
Randall gets laid everywhere he goes.
Yeah. He's just one of those people.
Yeah.
He's got the power.
He's got the hey.
Hey. No. Like, hey. Watch Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's really great.
But they went all over the place. They went to Yellowstone National Park. Got into it with Yogi and Boo Boo. They went all over the damn place. They ended up in Virginia at one point. Almost got their dome cracked in by Negan.
I don't. Everywhere they go, they got to start some shit.
Yeah, and it really did cost Red Monster Inc. a lot of money.
Yeah, legal fees.
A lot of lawsuits come out of that one. The Red Monster himself was
upset, to say the
he was
least.
about ready to eat people's faces.
Yeah,
like for real, without bath salts.
Right,
he is a monster, so he gets pretty angry. But that was actually around the time that Funyun had to go meet with the PR firm. Red Monster had sent him down there to, kind of remake his image a little bit.
Yeah, they need to tone it down a little bit and kind of change a few of his.
When upper management steps in, things
right.
Things get serious, and you got to do shit that you don't want to do. So Funyun had to go see some people at this. I forget the name. It was a very long. Optimus Public Relations and Communications or some shit. And they basically proceeded to tell Funyun that he was a misogynistic redneck that nobody really liked.
Yeah.
And that people liked Gopher more after Winter Gopher because, everybody's like, hey, that was cool.
Gopher was badass.
Yeah,
Gopher was funny,
Gopher was getting
he was hard ass, and Funyun was just a dick.
Yeah, and Gopher was getting all of these. He got the talk show gig with Ellen.
Right,
he got to be a guest and put over the projects and
Funyun
getting all this attention. And
Funyun got a little jealous.
Yeah. It started a weird relationship with Funyun Bob and Broken Matt Hardy, which was really fucking strange. It just kind of came out of nowhere. That was around the time that he decided that he was going to learn the broken ways and
yep.
and become woking by Matt Hardy, and was even rocking the Control-Alt-Delete Gopher shirt. It turned into kind of a beef thing for a while.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy did not help. He kind of perpetuated that a little.
He's an instigator. He's a fucking instigator.
That is what actually led into the events of American Horror Story, which is actually, I guess you could say that's probably one of our first real formal comic stories.
Yeah.
That was where we introduced the Man Who Never Laughs, a.k.a. the Clown Hunter.
Yep.
Clown Hunter was based off of a lot of different things, but the main concept was if Batman was Dexter, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Basically, if you watched your parents be murdered in front of you, I think you would be more prone to turn out like Dexter as opposed to Batman.
Definitely.
So it was an exploration of that idea.
Yeah.
This cult, and that was around the time that in real life there were clown sightings. You remember all that?
Yeah, motherfuckers creeping around with like bats and axes and just standing in random places, freaking people the fuck out.
Yeah, that was 2016, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It was right. It was before the election.
Yeah,
so it was, and I had to do a lot of research on that, to make, I always, and as silly as my comics are, if you really, really read them and pay attention, like I do my research. I make sure that the shit has continuity and it makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I read about while researching the whole kind of clown sightings and Disturbia type shit was that it always kind of tends to happen around election time.
Huh.
And from a psychiatrist's point of view, he was like, it's kind of a coping mechanism for certain people.
Oh, wow.
A weird.
That is a very strange coping mechanism.
And that's the thing. It's almost very Joker-ish,
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be a parody of society.
Huh.
I'm going to go be a clown because clowns can do whatever they want,
That's true.
So it was very, very interesting. This is not the first time that this has happened.
Right.
that people would literally call the police saying, "Hey, there's a fucking clown out here," you know.
And you know, it wasn't just...
And some of it would be bullshit, and then some of it they'd be like, "We never caught anybody.
Right.
We never found anybody."
Right.
You know, so some of it was very like, "What?
Did it really happen? Somebody just fucking with
But then
us?
there was shit that was like, "Nah, this motherfucker was just trying to play off paranoia and had a mask on and was
Yeah.
fucking with, you know, kindergartners." You
Yeah.
know? So it was a mix of both, of just, you know, some of it was unexplained, some of it wasn't, but the whole story came up with that idea of, what if they're all in it together?
Yeah.
What if they're a cult? And I swear to God we did that before American Horror Story did cult.
Yeah.
And had fucking clowns. Hello, Ryan Murphy. I would like my royalty check, please. As Jay and Silent Bob would say, where's my motherfucking movie check?
For real, dude, that's legitimate. Yeah, because he did write that.
You can
before
go.
American
You can
Horror
go.
Story
Yeah,
aired
you
their
can.
shit. And you know, you don't really. They don't tell you what the fuck they're writing, so how the fuck would we have known?
Yeah, yeah. They especially in the later seasons, they don't tell you shit. They give
Yeah.
you teasers that have nothing to do.
You
with
wait till like a month before it airs to finally get one teaser.
Yeah.
That's like 30 seconds long.
Right, and tells you nothing. You know, like,
Absolutely nothing.
it's just like, oh, that was creepy. Fuck.
Exactly.
Now I'm excited. Yeah, but we did that story, and the whole joke became, well, who's the leader? And Spade says it's Ronald McDonald.
Of course.
And
Of fucking course. Have you ever seen those statues there? Just waiting for a kid to sit in his lap.
oh man,
Ronald McDonald's a
going
fucking
back to
creep.
our first topic, things that we shouldn't talk about.
Not Ronald McDonald.
Not Ronald McDonald. And,
No way.
And children, no.
No.
I mean,
Yes,
is
he
that
did.
is it really that far fetched?
I don't know. I know, right?
Is
right,
it really?
Right. I mean, clowns, dude.
But at first, I will say that I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know, Spade. But then more shit started kind of unfolding, and I was like, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
And he was fucking right, because it was revealed that Ronald McDonald was the leader of the Phantom Clown Society, and he whooped Spade's ass.
Yeah, he fucked him up pretty good.
Like, I felt bad for Spade. Like, he broke some ribs,
Yeah.
broken nose. Spade already has, you know, prone to broken noses anyway with the wrestling business.
Right, right.
So, re-broke Spade's nose.
Yeah. Almost wanted to give him a kiss.
Thankfully, the clown hunter showed up, and damn near caved Ronald's head in with a barbed wire bat. I guess he was watching Walking Dead.
He neganized his ass.
He was watching Walking Dead around the same time we were, apparently. But
Or they stole it from him.
origins. But they instead of killing him, he gets a visit from a cloaked figure that ends up being his future self. That shows him a future where Ronald McDonald's death creates Armageddon.
Yeah.
He dies a martyr,
Yeah.
and the cult uprises and takes over.
So you can't kill him.
You can't kill him.
You can't do it.
So he locks him up in whatever hellhole that he was staying in around here. He's not from here. He moves around.
Right.
But he had a makeshift cell for Ronald. Ronald wasn't heard from for a little while. Then we started getting into some stuff with the character Canadian Bob. And if you know anything about Canadian Bob, you know that he is just a straight up ode to South Park's Canadians.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about, guy.
Not your guy, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
I'm not your friend, guy.
What are you doing? We're sending you adrift, asshole.
Yeah, bitch.
But the flappy heads and the idea was that he was the Canadian version of Funyun. He was
Right.
like Canadian doppelganger Funyun. And
Funyun didn't like that.
well, at first him and Funyun seemed to be friends, or Funyun thought so.
He's Canadian, man. You
Well,
can't trust
I mean-
a fucking Canadian.
He was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He, Canadian Bob
Oh, I
was
know.
actually doing.
Funyun's kind of, he's a little
He's got the-
not all there.
well, he's-
Easily manipulated.
yeah,
Manipulated.
he's He's got that southern hospitality,
Right,
man. He's
right.
He's a kind fella.
Oh man, come on.
He was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, regardless. But it turns out that Canadian Bob was the one trying to sabotage the Christmas show. When we were talking about the Lil Wayne getting hit with the bottle earlier,
That son of a bitch threw it.
he didn't throw it, but he conversed the Adventure Time penguins into throwing it because they love throwing bottles. So he instigated it. He also tried to drop a sandbag on Phil McGroin.
That he did. I remember that.
That backfired. He wasn't very good at trying to thwart Funyun. We never really understood why. He just always said it's because I hate you.
Yeah.
Or because I hate you, guy. Nah. But yeah, something. It was like he wanted to replace Funyun. It was very.
He was jealous.
Very unclear.
I think he's jealous. I think he wants to be Funyun so bad. He wants Gopher to crawl up his butt.
Well, I questioned, was it over Miss Gertie at the time? Because that was around the time that, Miss Gertie came back around. She was helping out with the Christmas special. And her and Funyun kissed under the mistletoe for the first time.
Yeah.
It became a thing. It was very...
women are
it got
always
very,
the start of
it got
some fucked up
very
things.
serious very quick with those two as well. But Canadian Bob bided his time and actually found some people that were good at what they do and enlisted the aid of Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, to not only find Ronald McDonald but free him from the prison. And they all team up under the money and empire of Ronald McDonald, which is what inspired the events of Winter Gopher 2.
Boom!
Winter Gopher 2, I guess still to me, in this, at least right now, is probably one of the most epic Funyun and Gopher stories of all time.
That is a great bit, dude. Like, the whole fucking sequence. Just amazing. Well drawn, well put together, storyline well wrote. Oh, I was very impressed.
And you have to read the previous comics for it to make sense, because all the stuff I've been telling you was leading up to this. The fight with Deadpool, the meeting the Clown Hunter, people didn't understand that I was planting seeds. I was Marvel Universing this shit.
Yeah.
But it was all leading to all these misfit people: Spade, the Clown Hunter, Deadpool, Winter Gopher, and Captain America, all teaming up to fight this villainous group that had formed of Canadian Bob, Slade, and Ronald McDonald and all the clowns. And they decided to put up shop in New Zealand and had to go overseas. It became a big political thing. It was supposed to be a Black Ops mission that went very fucking wrong.
Yeah, just a little bit?
Just a little.
Just a tad bit.
I mean, they were kind of labeled as terrorists for a while.
Just a little bit. I mean,
it's
only a couple buildings that got fucking destroyed.
I mean, only a shit ton of clowns got murdered.
Yeah, it's nothing too serious.
The Grimace got decapitated.
Yeah.
There was you really should just go back and read that.
Yeah, for real.
A lot happened. Spade got his new vigilante gear.
Yes.
That is really when the archery started coming into play for Spade. He had the new targeting helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Winter Gopher 2 was probably one of the most fun stories that I ever...
Very elaborate, dude.
Ever got to tell.
Very elaborate. So many specific details and stuff, too.
And
I
like
mean,
I said,
you definitely could be a writer for some comic places or even for, like, some wrestling gimmicks and shit. You've definitely got that talent about you.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy telling stories.
And we enjoy reading them.
Yeah. But after Winter Gopher 2, it was kind of a adjustment process for a lot of the people that came out of that. Funyun and Gopher didn't exactly know what they wanted to do after that.
Yeah.
They kind of hung out with Deadpool for a little while, training at the X Mansion, and New York. Came home, got a ride home from Ranji, who was the pilot from Century. I kind of skipped over Century, my bad. But Century was the government organization they were working for during the events of Winter Gopher 2. And also kind of the guys that were ready to throw them under the bus when they got caught.
But so is how the government does.
It worked out. They made it back. They got Ronald McDonald. They sent Ronald to an alternate universe. To my knowledge, that is where he still is.
And where he's gonna fucking stay if we can do anything about it.
And the Clown Hunter even told the acting director at that time that he knew that he would get out, but that he would be there when it happened. So that kind of leads me to the discussion of Winter Gopher 3.
Oh shit!
Which is, in my opinion, has to be the finale of the comics, because we are moving in the next direction of videos.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings it all back around, which is crazy. That now we have this microphone and we're able to actually record and audio.
Yeah.
That we've actually been able to do a few little Funyun Bob gimmicks.
Right.
And we plan on doing way more, and they're going to get better as they progress. I know they're kind of janky at first, but you can watch the channel from the bottom to the top and see how much we've progressed.
Definitely.
But honestly, I just don't see how it gets any more epic than the conclusion of that, because
no, just from the few little tidbits you've given me, it's gonna be even more epic than 2. And that's
2 is epic.
Yeah, that's saying
I have
some
large...
shit. It's gonna be like the fucking end game.
Yeah, it is our end game. It's a very large, intimidating project, but it must be done, because I'm all about continuity and giving people an ending to a story they've invested time in. Which I have no idea how many people have actually read it, but I will put the link in the description that will take you to all of the previous Funyun Bob webcomics. And you can get caught up. You can actually read everything in order, because it's all in order.
That's right.
It's all organized. But yeah, I think Winter Gopher 3 is definitely going to be our in-game level story. And the end of Funyun and Gopher's comic adventures, because that's why I called their new show The New Adventures of Funyun Bob and Gopher, because this is kind of a new start for them.
Yeah.
They have been working on something. We're actually waiting on some other factors to play out, but the first episode of The New Adventures of Funyun Bob and Gopher is coming sometime this year.
It's going to be good shit.
It is going to be good shit. It's going to be worth the wait, I promise. We're actually outsourcing some other talent for this one. So,
right.
We're waiting to hear back on that, but...
so it'll be a mix of comics and dub-overs with voices.
Yeah.
So it's the next step forward for us. And if we can ever get to the animation part...
Oh, we will. Totally, you know. If we have that capability to animate it, we totally will take it. But
move over, Family Guy.
Yeah. Which is kind of... When we created the design of Funyun, I remember asking you, what should Funyun look like? And I remember you saying a mix of Lester from the Cleveland Show.
Yep.
Who's voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yep.
Which I always thought was funny. A black dude voicing a redneck.
Yes.
But more of a Billy Ray Cyrus mullet.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I have actually had a lot of people say that he looks like white Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like the way his face is drawn, which it actually has been joked about before.
And he's nice and tubby too.
Right. Got that gut on him.
Uh-huh.
But that's from all the burrs.
The burrs.
Bears, what?
Yeah, man.
You want a bear? Hey, Funyun Bob, you want some beer? What?
Yeah, man. Hook me up.
Stone Cold Steve Austin of Funyun Bob, what?
Yeah.
Breaking Stunner's back, bitch.
Woohoo!
Steve Austin and Funyun, really, that would be a good one.
We
need to make that happen. That needs to be a sitcom.
Yeah. You'd be like Mike Tyson Mysteries.
It's Stone Cold and Funyun Bob. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Funyun, get your gimmicks out of my gimmicks. What? Sorry, son of a bitch. That's the bottom line. But yeah, Funyun Bob has been an absolute blast to make, and I'm so glad that you've been a part of all of it. Honestly, I really felt bad when it first started, and I was doing the Facebook thing, but I couldn't find a way to really integrate you into it. You know, other than you were kind of just my consultant. You know,
like would Funyun do this? How would you feel about this?
You know?
It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Funyun Bob had a great support team. I want to say.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I would always talk to either Mac or Spade or Catherine. Y'all were kind of my sounding board for ideas, and that's something I could always say is like, if I was ever putting something out that sucked, I think y'all would always be like, yeah, this sucks. like so. I've always felt like,
hey, bro, we should do this.
Yeah. But y'all have always been mad supportive. I even told Catherine that recently. I was like, I appreciate y'all's support because I love what it's evolved into. Doing these podcasts and we're creating a whole other universe with this.
It's fun shit, man.
It is. I love our little world that we're making. But Funyun Bob he kind of opened a lot of doors for us.
He was kind of the arrowhead or the spearhead.
He's like the Green Arrow of our universe.
Yeah.
Like he kind of spawned it all.
That's very true.
The center point.
If you go like CW show wise.
Yeah.
Because they started off with him and then it spawned out this whole creation. I think if that hadn't happened, you probably wouldn't have the DC streaming shit.
Yep.
Because they wouldn't have known how well their TV shows could have done if they. And because they have their own streaming shit, they can do it as gritty as they fucking want to. They don't have to worry about censoring for language and whatnot. They can do it for real.
Oh yeah, you could say fuck Batman on DC streaming.
You can paint it on the fucking wall.
Spray paint and angst. Hey, you Batman, you're not my real dad.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman calls the orphanage. He's like, hey, is this a sidekick store? I need a new one. They keep dying on me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, is that too harsh
for
a joke?
Much? Is that too much? Too much about orphans? No? Too much?
Just running through little kids. He's broken. Fucking. Next.
Sir, this is an orphanage.
You got plenty.
I mean, nobody's going to adopt them.
Look at him. He's only got one arm.
I'm offering you a life of adventure at least, you know?
You might die.
You get a warrior's fucking death, okay? You're going to get beat with a crowbar by the Joker, but I mean, hey, it's, you know.
I mean, you're fucked either way.
You're going to live in infamy, and then, hey, you'll probably come back in a few years as one of my villains. So, I mean, it's all going to work out.
Or we'll bring you back to life somehow.
Yeah, Lazarus pits are everywhere, so we'll make it work. We just totally ranted on some Batman shit.
That's good shit, though.
But I think I've covered most of the big events of Funyun.
His legacy so
I think
far.
I would be remiss to say that one of the biggest blows that Canadian Bob ever gave Funyun was he was responsible for the death of Miss Gertie.
Yeah.
Which was it's always hard losing a character.
It is.
And
especially one so close.
And Funyun was very devastated after that. I still don't think he's 100% over.
No. Of course not. I don't think he'll ever be 100%.
It's a rough blow because it was revealed that even if he'd have got there on time, he couldn't have saved her.
Yep.
It was a game that was rigged by the evil Canadian Bob. But Canadian Bob did end up getting his comeuppance. He was blamed for all of the things that happened in New Zealand, was imprisoned there, but then was later killed by the Canadian Gopher. And you didn't even think about that, did you? You didn't even think, well, you've got a Canadian Funyun Bob. Well, there's got to be a Canadian Gopher, too.
Yeah.
That was the ace up the sleeve.
That's
that was
it.
the twist.
That's it right there.
Well, Canadian Gopher has taken up the mission now. So Slade is now working for Canadian Gopher.
Oh, snap.
Canadian Gopher and Slade, along with the Calculator, which that story will be concluded. That the first part of that comic is out, where Funyun and Gopher decide after they come back that they're going to be crime fighters.
Yeah.
They're good at it.
That's right.
They go to an asylum where some inmates have taken over. I did not do an ending to that, but it will be explained when Winter Gopher 3 gets more developed.
It better.
It will.
It fucking
You
better.
know, I mean, I've already, it's, you know.
Yeah.
There's already a skeleton and some meat on it, bro.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But enlist the help of the Calculator, who is a master hacker and also a fucking kind of a white supremacist-ish. He's a racist.
Yeah.
That's why he's the Calculator. But they decided to burn the Red Monster Inc. version of Deadpool's Twitter page down. They put a mutant inhibitor collar on him and shot him in the head. So Deadpool is literally dead.
That son of a bitch.
So
Well, there you go, Spade.
war has been declared.
I bet Spade's
Been very quiet about that. You know,
He didn't want to seem too happy on
yeah,
what it was.
he's very.
He's trying to be nice about
He's
it.
very aware, but he's
trying to be
not,
nice about it. He's like, fuck you, dude. I'm sorry, you guys. I
Let's
hate
say
that
he's
for
not.
you guys.
He's not telling you about how he does a happy dance on his grave.
Right.
But it's definitely it's going to affect the events of Winter Gopher 3 for sure, because now you are minus a Deadpool.
Yeah. But he was
a big part of the first mission.
I mean, that's a great teammate to have. Somebody who
He
can't fucking die.
You know, he took quite a few bullets in the events of Winter Gopher 2 and was fine afterwards. But take away that mutant power, nothing you can do.
That's right.
But, so Funyun and Gopher's been in some weird places, man. They've lost people along the way. They're, you know, they pop up on our channel every now and then, but you know, they've been through some hard times. They're veterans now.
Yeah, you heard them on that last show they were on together. They were bickering like little
Yeah,
monsters.
that was kind of odd, was it not?
Yeah.
They were really at each other. There's a lot of tension there.
Yeah.
A lot of anger.
Need to
Yeah.
find out what that's all about.
Well, you know, Gopher stays here a lot. I try to get him. He doesn't.
He's not.
He doesn't open up. He doesn't.
You have to
He's
get his
not.
ass drunk or something.
Yeah. He really doesn't open up a lot. But he likes the chocolate boobies. That's something I can tell you about Gopher. Chocolate teas.
Yes. I mean, they sound pretty fantastic to me too.
But yeah, there's definitely something off about them. Hopefully they'll get their shit together when they get their new show. We'll take them out of battle. I think they're battle worn. I think is what it is.
They got PTSD.
I think it is. Maybe we need to talk to the Red Monster about getting them some counseling.
Yeah.
Some medication. Some medication would probably do Funyun some good.
Yeah, he definitely needs something.
Yeah. But I do, and all kidding aside, I do genuinely love Funyun Bob and Gopher and the whole crew. Not Your Buddy Christ and all of our little side characters that came about from it. And it was fun because we had no rules. There were no limitations. We didn't have to compromise on anything. We weren't trying to sell it, so it was, you know, we had no copyright restrictions or anything like that. So we had such a rich universe to play in that we kind of inadvertently created our own, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it. And there's so much more to come. So
It's been a fucking blast. I can't wait to see the new shit.
yeah, I'm very excited about the new shit. Y'all stay tuned. And that, like I said, I know it's a good ways into 2019 already, and we hadn't dropped any new Funyun and Gopher shit, but I have tried to make sure that they've popped in on the podcast and stayed around. They got
Yeah.
they got a Twitter page. You can hit them up on Twitter.
They'll talk some shit too.
I was about to say they'll talk to you. They'll retweet your shit if they
Thanks,
think it's
Gerb.
cool.
Yeah.
Funny to go for they definitely kind of the ambassadors of Bread Monster Inc.
Yeah, the little dynamic duo.
They are. They are our dynamic duo in our hearts.
Oh.
But I think that's going to wrap it up for the Red Monster Inc. podcast this week. I'm your boy, the DOJ,
I'm your dude, the Machiavells.
and we will catch y'all next time.
Holla holla.